Good morning, everyone. Mr. Smith here, getting ready to go over Lesson 10.1, the optional extra practice worksheet. I encourage you to try this worksheet first and then play this video to check your answers. Or you can watch this video if you get stuck on anything and need some extra hints. The directions read, circle the letter of the correct answer. The first one is done for you. And then they give us a little bit of vocabulary help right here. It says, solution is the result or the answer. And number 1 is done for us. Which of the following is the solution to an addition problem? A. Sum. Number 2. Which word phrase represents the following expression, n minus 3? Now, I want you to recognize that you're not asked to solve anything, so you don't need to know what the value of n is. We just have to identify which phrase matches that. And A says the quotient of n and 3, and quotient is the solution to a division problem, so it's definitely not that. And then on B and C, on both cases I see the word less, so we just have to decide in which order this is. B says 3 less than n. C says n less than 3. So let's think about the order that's given to us. We have n first, which means it needs to be the greater value, and then we're subtracting 3. B is the correct answer because our solution is 3 is less than n because it's being subtracted from n. I know that gets tricky because it looks backwards. They have the problem they're giving us, or the expression they're giving us, is n minus 3. But how you can remember this is that n is the greater value because in subtraction the greater value has to go first. 3 is less than n. Okay, we're on number 3. Which word phrase represents the following expression, 5m? And I want you to notice here there's no operation. And you may or may not know this, but when there's no operation and there is a variable right next to a number, that means multiply. And so A says 5 fewer than m. Fewer is a subtraction, so that's not it. And B says m groups of 5. C says m divided by 5. It's not division, we just said it's multiplication. If we have m groups of 5, that means m times 5, or 5 times m. The answer is B. Number 4. Which of the following is the solution to a multiplication problem? We already talked about it. The quotient is the solution to a division problem. The factor is part of a multiplication problem. C, the product, is the solution to the multiplication problem. It is C, product. Let's move on. We're on number 5. Which word phrase represents the following expression, r divided by 6? If you look through here, we have product, we have quotient, and we have takeaway. Well, product we just identify as multiplication, and takeaway would be subtraction. And this right here, quotient, would be division. It is B. Number 6. Which word phrase represents the following expression, 3 plus p? A, 3 increased by p. B, 3 decreased by p. That would be subtraction. And C, the difference of 3 and p. That would also be subtraction. Addition would be increased. It's A. We're on the matching. It says match the algebraic expressions A through E, that's these guys right here, to exercises 7 through 12. Some letters may be used more than once. Some letters may not be used at all. The first one is done for you. So the first one is number 7, 9 less than x. We kind of already talked about that. They chose C for us because x is the greater value, and 9 less than that would be we subtracted 9 from x. So number 7 is C. I'm on number 8 now. Number 8 reads, the quotient of 9 and x. Quotient is the solution to a division problem. The answer is D. I'm on number 9. The sum of 9 and x. The word sum is the solution to an addition problem. The answer is B. I'm on number 10. The product of 9 and x. The word product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And if you look up there for an x, you're not going to see one because we're not using the x for multiply anymore. And here's a perfect example of why. It's because when we get to algebra, x is a very common variable. So the only multiplication problem up here is the one that says 9x, 9 right next to x with no sign. The answer is A. Number 11, x more than 9. Well, if one number is more than the other, or if we're combining numbers to make a number more than another one, that is addition. And the addition problem up here is B. And if you think to yourself, we already used that one. It's because it says some letters may be used more than once. One number 12, x decreased by 9. This means that we have x, and that for some reason we had to decrease that by 9. That means subtract, and that is not one where we switch the order. X, the bigger number, is being decreased by 9. So that is C. Okay, let's move on. The word problems at the bottom of the page. Solve, number 13. Nicole had 38 beads. She lost some of them. This can be modeled by the expression 38 minus x. What does x represent? Well, what we know is, from the very first sentence, she had 38 beads. She lost some of them. How many did she lose? We don't know, but she lost some. What's the operation that lost would indicate? It means decreased or subtracted. And then it says some of them. Well, the expression down below says 38 minus x. And then it says, what does x represent? X represents the beads that Nicole lost. Okay, we're on number 14. Wilhelm bought some shirts. He paid $12 for each shirt. This can be modeled by the expression 12x. What does x represent? Well, the 12 part of 12x is the $12 right here. But what do we not know? What we don't know is how many shirts. Wilhelm bought some shirts. How many shirts? We don't know. But if we go to the expression, we have a math problem that says 12 times x. What is x? We don't know. But what we do know is that x represents what? It's what we don't know. X represents the number of, or how many, shirts Wilhelm bought. Okay, good job. You're done with the first side of this worksheet.